A hush fell upon Valinor as the twilight of a new doubt crept into the hearts of the Valar. For an age they had dwelt in apparent unity under the will of Eru Ilúvatar, shaping Ardar according to the great music. Yet, unknown to most, subtle tremors were stirring beneath the polished surface of harmony. "Do you ever wonder," Irmo said, his voice tremulous in the hushed groves of Lorien, "whether we have the right to dream new shapes for this world?" He stood amidst an orchard of silver-barked trees, their leaves shimmering like moonlit mirrors. Irmo, the master of dreams and visions, wore an expression torn between awe and ambition. At his side stood Mandos, Namo, the doomsman of the Valar, whose face was unreadable, yet whose eyes glinted with a somber fervor. Mandos let the silence stand between them for a long moment. Finally, in a voice cool as distant thunder, he replied, "To question Eru's plan, dear brother, is no small matter. But the doom I speak has grown weary. I have seen fates laid out like threads in a loom, all leading to the same tapestry. Must all things end as foreordained, or can we, whose power is second only to Ilúvatar, shape a grander design?" Irmo drew a quivering breath. "Then you truly believe we can do it? Break the confines of fate itself?" Mandos inclined his head in a single, deliberate nod. "I believe the hour has come to test these bonds. And you, Irmo, I trust your subtlety. We need no open rebellion. Yet, if we weave illusions, if we sow the seeds of new destinies, the others may follow. Those who hunger for something beyond Eru's script will flock to us." The orchard seemed to darken, as though a cloud had slipped between Lorien and the gentle light of the stars. So began the conspiracy that would, in time, rend Valinor asunder. For centuries uncounted, Irmo had nurtured Arda's dreams. Yet, in secret, his own longings had grown bolder. He envisioned realms of beauty that exceeded what even Eru had conceived. But he found no room to shape them without stepping beyond the appointed bounds. Mandos, quiet and immovable, had also grown restless with pronouncing dooms not of his own making. Their union was thus forged, two pillars of unwavering authority, plotting to break the great design from within. In covert signals, they reached out to others. Mandos, in the deep corridors of his halls, whispered to a chosen few Maiar about unclaimed destinies that lay waiting in the darkness, waiting for those daring enough to seize them. Irmo, more subtle yet, poured new illusions into the dreams of men and elves, suggesting that the established order of the Valar need not be final. Within a matter of months, though in the timeless realms of the Valar, the passing of months is but the blink of an eye. Small gatherings formed. At first, they met in hidden glades in Lorien, or in the echoing passages beneath Mandos's domain. The would-be conspirators hid their disquiet from the rest of the Valar, or so they believed. The gods finally realized that they could not go alone to the chambers of the Valar, or so they believed. Far away, in a cavern lit by molten fire, Owl the Smith hammered a blade of unknown metal, dark as obsidian, yet gleaming with strange runes. Sparks danced in the dim glow, reflecting the spark of worry in Owl's eyes. He set the hammer aside and ran a rough hand over his brow. "Something stirs," he muttered. "A shadow, a doubt among my kin. I can feel it in the very bones of Arda." Nearby, one of his Maiar attendants, tall with eyes like gleaming coal, looked up uneasily. "My lord, do you suspect Melkor's foul shadow again?" Owly shook his head. "Nay, Melkor is long cast out. This is different. More cunning, perhaps. A quiet voice, not the brazen roar of the fallen one." As if on cue, a soft glow spread at the tunnel's mouth. Irmo appeared, dressed in raiment shimmering like a half-remembered dream. Aula stiffened. Irmor was not known to visit the forge without reason. "Merma," Owl said with a note of surprise. "What brings you to my halls at such an hour?" Irmo smiled, a gesture of warmth that did nothing to dispel the sudden tension. "Merely a wish to see your artistry, dear brother. The works of your hands have always delighted my heart, and I hoped we might speak of the future. We could build together." Ole eyed him warily. "The future, you say? I would know exactly what you have in mind." Irmo lowered his voice to a gentle murmur. "Ardor is full of potential, friend. Evu has not forbidden us to improve upon what is made, has he? Dreams of a renewed world, are they not the domain of my power? And your craft could shape wonders beyond imagining if freed from every boundary." At that, Owl's eyes narrowed. "Boundaries, Irmo. Keep us faithful to the one who allowed me to bring forth the dwarves at all. This talk, it troubles me." Irmo's expression softened. "I do not speak rebellion, only possibility. My kin, there is no reason to fear. Let us explore new horizons. Think, your dwarves would stand by you in any endeavor, would they not?" The faintest tremor crossed Orly's face. He remembered all too well the moment Orly had tested him, accepting the dwarfs into the grand design after Orly's contrition. "They would follow me, I know, and that is a burden I cannot take lightly." Irmo laughed, airy as a breeze through birch leaves. "Of course not, dear brother. Still, I ask only that you keep an open mind. Great changes are afoot, whether you will them or not." Then, with a parting glow that made the torchlit cavern seem drear by contrast, Irmo vanished. Aule stood there long after, gazing at the still cooling blade upon his anvil, heart heavy with indecision. Elsewhere in Valinor's hush, a different faction prowled the night. The Knights of Feanor. Bound by a blend of family legacy, unspent wrath, and dark rumors of new power, they moved through hidden paths, meeting in vaulted chambers, unlit by starlight. At their head were the surviving sons of Feanor. Some said they walked free by Mandos's permission, or by a quirk of destiny not even the doomsman could deny. With them traveled a band of Noldoran warriors, skilled in blade and cunning. Their leader, Maedros, stood tall and grim, a red glint in his eyes that echoed the smoldering fires of his father. His council chamberlain, Belgrandes Belhamor. "We have labored in silence long enough," Maedros growled, pacing a cold marble floor. "Our father's oath, still unfulfilled, even after the passing of ages." A younger knight spoke, voice tight with eagerness. "But my lord, what do we seek now that the Silmarils are gone? Will we not earn only scorn from the Valar and elves alike?" Maedros's hand tightened on the hilt of his sword. "The Valar have scorned us since the kinslaying at Alqualond. Let them, if war is truly coming." He paused, as if savoring the word. "Then let us be the first to reap its advantage." Behind him, Maglor, the minstrel and mightiest singer among Feanor's sons, spoke in a voice like a lament. "Brother, I do not seek more bloodshed. Yet the knightly oath calls us to stand at the forefront of any conflict that shapes our destiny. By the fires of Father's forge, we shall not remain idle." So they agreed, forging a plan to act as assassins in the shadows. If some among the Valar turned traitor to Eru, and others rose to defend him, the Knights of Feanor would ensure that key generals and leaders, those who might threaten Noldorin ascendancy, did not live to see the dawn of open war. For the knights believed that in chaos lay opportunity, and their hearts still burned with unquenched fervor. Though none had yet sounded a trumpet of rebellion, a sense of foreboding swept across Valinor like a gathering storm. Manwë upon Taniquetil stood at the edge of his gleaming balcony, robed in cloud and starlight. Vada stood at his side, her face pale and resolute. Light and something moves beneath our gaze, she whispered, hands clenched at her breast. Can you see it in the winds, my lord? Manwë closed his eyes, letting the wind swirl about him in eddies of half-spoken truths. I see the silhouette of doubt among our own, whispers that beckon certain hearts away from Eru's path. His breath caught as though tasting bitter air. But who it is, that remains unclear. Vada's eyes flickered with a sorrowful luminosity. Ulmo has sent word from the deeps. Strange currents swirled in the sea, as if stirred by an invisible hand. The music of creation thrums an odd note, out of harmony. If, indeed, some of our brethren have turned from Eru's light, we must discover it. Soon. Manwë laid a gentle hand on hers. We shall gather the faithful among the Valar in due time. For now, we watch, and we wait. If the betrayers reveal themselves openly, we will act with the full measure of our authority. But a quiet dread festered in the High King's heart, for he sensed that the first blow might come as a whisper, rather than a roar. In the secret depths of Lorien's twilight gardens, where moonflowers glistened and dreamlike mists swirled, Urmo and Mandos convened once more. They had already rallied a handful of Maiar who yearned for a different order. Some mortal lords had even been contacted through subtle visions. Ramthan. Mandos's voice rumbled softly. The time is at hand, Irmo. Our followers wonder when we shall declare our cause openly. They hunger for a sign, a single clarion call. Irmo's face, half lit by the glow of luminous blossoms, showed both eagerness and caution. Let them hunger a while longer, brother. A single misstep, and the rest of the Valar will descend upon us with unimaginable wrath. We must be certain that Aule's choice is made, that others stand beside us. We cannot risk the might of Taniquetil alone. The voice of the Valar began to interrupt Urmo, but he blocked it with a fist to the face. Urmo saw his mistress's gaze on him. Mandos's eyes glistened, as though with an inner flame. They will stand by us. Even now, there are those among elves and men who sense that we herald a new dawn. And the Maiar, some crave freedom from the old ways. It happens, Hamai said. Some crave freedom from the old ways. A flicker of hesitation crossed Ilmer's features. And yet, if we fail, if Eru's wrath is roused... Seek him? Mandos cut him off with a gesture. We shall not fail. Not when the doom of this age rests upon my lips. I have spoken it, Urmo, in the deep echoes of my halls. A new fate is coming, and it is not what Urmo has written. Urmo exhaled shakily, then nodded. Very well. We proceed with caution still. The lines will be drawn soon enough. They parted without further words, each brimming with a mix of excitement and dread. Nearby, hidden among the low-hanging boughs, one of the Knights of Feanor had crouched unseen. That silent watcher slipped away to deliver word. The treachery was real, and it was close to the cusp of unveiling. As if reflecting the brooding hearts of the Valar, the skies over Valinor grew heavy with deep purple clouds. Faint rumblings in the distance seemed to herald a coming storm, though no rain fell yet. Across the land, elves watched the horizon with unquiet eyes. Men felt an uneasy chill in the wind, and the dwarfs, ever attuned to the heartbeats of stone, sensed the deep places of the earth thrumming with tension. Aule paced his forge day and night, shaping cunning devices and forging arms that seemed destined for war. Yet he had not declared his allegiance. Each clang of his hammer echoed his internal conflict, for he recalled with reverence the voice of Eru, who had once tested him and found his heart contrite. Could he, would he, defy the one who had breathed life into his beloved dwarfs? Meanwhile, the knights of Feanor sharpened their blades in secret caverns, forging unholy alliances with certain mortal chieftains, who whispered, "Let the Valar squabble, we will seize the advantage." And in the fleeting corners of dreams, Urmo gently sowed illusions that intoxicated many a noble mind, promising that soon a new order would ascend. Yet no open swords had been crossed, no clarion horns of war had shattered the hush. Instead, Valinor quivered in a hush more dreadful than any thunderous assault, and in that breathless pause, like the holding of the entire world's breath, it became clear that the first blow would come not with resounding fanfare, but in the quiet gloom of betrayal. Thus ends Part 1, perched on the brink of a calamitous divide. No official battles have yet taken place, but the tapestry of treachery is nearly woven.